Hello everyone and welcome back to another Hookster Talks. Yes, with me and Mr. TV Bear. Yes, everyone's favourite bear. Yes. Oh, you're gorgeous, aren't you? So bloody, so sexy. How can a bear be so bloody sexy? Oh, I just want to kiss you, and I'm going to. No, you can't stop me because you're just a stuffed bear. Mwah. Oh, oh. That's only the PG stuff we get up to on YouTube. There's a lot worse on my OnlyFans. Yes, check it out. Anyway, hello everyone and welcome back to another Hookster Talks on a Thursday evening. Yes, we are here, finally. You know, I look like Ronnie Bloody Corbett with these glasses on. I'll be sitting in that big chair soon, telling stupid stories. Well, nothing new there then. Nothing new there then. I'll tell all my stories are absolutely true. Even the lies. Hello everyone, let's go to the chat first before we start with the usual title of the video, which I've completely forgotten what I've put on there. I did it 5 minutes ago. It's Mr. Dominic Orlando's in the house. He says, Hookster. Thank you. Cool music. Yes, that is the music from F1 2013. It's the classic music when they brought back 4 classic circuits for the F1 game, which I can't remember them all. It was Imola, Brands Hatch. I can't remember the other 2. But anyway, don't put it in the comments. We all know what they were, but yeah, there was four tracks, classic tracks, and lots of classic cars as well, and it was great. And it was introduced by the legend himself, Mr. Murray Walker. It was great hearing Murray on the microphone again. Don't forget, it was 2013, so his F1 career was long gone, and he was sort of on the sidelines doing what old people do, and that is sitting in the old folks' home watching the TV. Yes, so yeah, it was great to see him, or hear him, I should say, back on the microphone. Yes, it was great music, I have to say, great music. Hello, Scott, he says, Dave, that's me. Don't wear the name out, otherwise no one will be able to use it again. No one will be able to use it again. Just JMO says, I'm currently watching the National Television Awards. Where is your nomination, Dave? Personally, I think it's scandalous. Now, Ant and Dec can't be there because they've both got COVID. Yes, both together at the same time. Yeah. Now we know what they get up to in their bedrooms, don't we? Yes, dirty little bastards. Yes. Oh, unfortunately, we got COVID at the same. Yeah, I bet you bloody did. That's because you were both in the old bedrooms together, weren't you? Doing a bit of the old, bit of the old that, wasn't it? Bit of the old that, wasn't it? You dirty little scarce gits. We know what they're like, don't we? We know what they're like, bloody Ant and Dec. Because Ant and Dec can't be there, I think I should get the award. Yes, best British broadcaster. Yes, that should be me. The 3 Bs. Best British broadcaster. You can probably think of some other names for me, but that's the most clean one I can think of. So there you go. Planal Plessage in the chat. Hello, sir, he says. Did you know that Nick Knowles is now an F1 conspiracy theorist? I did not know. He blocked me when I told him to stick to DIY. Oh, Nick Knowles. What a chap, eh? What a chap. How many affairs has he had? How many marriages has he had right now? I can't remember. He's probably lost count himself. He's run out of fingers now. He's probably gone past the 10. He's run out of his toes, and he's probably on about 25 by now. But yeah, great bloke. I've heard rumours he is a bit of an ass. Yes, on the quiet. I've heard he's a bit of an asshole. Bit of an asshat. Yes, bit of an asshat. But there you go. I can't confirm or deny those rumours, but that's what I've heard anyway. Matthew D'Souza's in the chat as well. Hello, Matthew. And he says, just come back from football coaching my under-9s team. Not that it's better than Hookster Talks to help you relax. Oh, sorry. Now it's better than Hookster Talks for you to relax. I think the spell check has gone a little bit skew with there, Matt. But I know what you're talking about. No worries. I know what you're talking about. Nothing better than Hookster Talks now to help you relax. Really? Help you relax? What? Me? Me? Well, there you go then. Apparently it is. Oh, he's corrected it. Sorry, I didn't see that bit at the bottom. Nothing. I got it anyway. Nothing better. Scott says, I would say more like Harry Hill. Okay, I love Harry Hill. He's brilliant. If I'm being compared to Harry Hill, I'll take it as a compliment. Yeah, I love Harry Hill. Blind Plenty says, Ant and Dec can't be at the NTAs to win that award for the 700th year in succession. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, they just win it every bloody year. I don't know even why they bother doing the National Television Awards. Just, do a 1 minute segment and say, and the winner is Ant and Dec. Oh, thanks very much. Thanks for everyone that voted again. Thanks. Yeah, bye now. Bye. Oh, dear. But there we go. Anyway, hope you're all well on this Thursday evening in the UK. It's 20:55 at the moment. Yes, in Armed Forces speak. Yes, 20:55, or otherwise known as 5 to 9. 5 to 9. Yes, 5 to 9. or in the old days, 55 minutes past the hour. Yeah, that's how the old people used to speak back in the 20s, Yeah. So they used to tell time. What's the time then, Grandma? Oh, it's 55 minutes past the hour. Oh, 5 to 9 then. Yeah, we got it. Fucking hell. Right, so talking point. First talking point is, congratulations to Max Verstappen for winning the World Championship last week in Japan. I'm not going to go on about it because the moaning Yorkshireman Josh Stocks has said pretty much everything that needs to be said in the crawl room. Well, I can't remember what it's called now. Crawl room. And so I don't want to, if you've watched that video, I don't want to repeat over old ground because he's pretty much said what it was. The race was an absolute bloody fiasco, absolute disaster from start to finish. The FIA are a bunch of twats and they need sorting for next year. Now, unfortunately, the title of this video, by the way, is F1 Finally Dead? I say that because I've seen so many people on Twitter, Facebook and everywhere else, saying, well, that's it for me. F1, no more. I'm done with it. And so they won't be watching F1 next year. And I've seen that a lot. And all I can say is it's a little bit like the whole of this year has gone, really, isn't it? Everyone's a little bit pissed off with everything that's going on. You've got that thing that's going on over the other side of Europe that I can't comment on because it's YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. And so there's a lot of apathy going on. People are fed up because they've just come out of COVID, and then we had this start-up. Okay, so now because we're all suffering. It's not just the people over in that country, but we're all suffering as well in energy prices and stuff like that. Obviously, we're not suffering anything like the people of that country are, but you get my gist. We're all bearing some kind of burden because of what's happening. So because of that, there's a lot of apathy in the world right now. A lot of people are pissed off, and I do believe the FIA basically have had enough of the championship and said, just finish it now. Because I understand now that Max Verstappen still had 5 seconds left on the clock as he crossed the line. They gave him the checkered flag, so he still had one more lap to go. So that's another cock up from the FIA, and it's just been a catalogue of errors, an absolute catalogue of errors for the FIA this year. For next year, they have really got to sort it out. The team that they've got clearly isn't working. So they've got to address that. They've either got to get rid of them and get some new team in, or work with the team that they've got and say, look, this is what you're doing wrong and this is what you've got to do to fix it. One of the biggest bugbears I found out about is the fact that they've got this HQ centre. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. And all decisions that are made have to go through this HQ for like the final decision. That is total madness, absolute madness. Okay, if you're going to make a decision, it has to be made by the person who is there at that circuit at that time. Doesn't matter if it's a wrong decision or not. They've got to make the decision. They cannot start doing Zoom calls to a HQ which is 1,000 miles away, not even anywhere near the circuit, to ask them, oh, do you think we should do it like this? That's bullshit, absolute bullshit. Make the decision on the ground right there and then and be done with it. Even if it's the wrong decision and it comes back to bite you in the arse later, you've still got to be the one that makes that decision. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, they need to get rid of that. It's a bit like the UK of that 5 or 10 years ago when we outsourced all our communications to India. All our call centres went to India, and that was great until COVID came along, and then, oh dear, now we're fucked, aren't we? So yeah, and now they've had to get a lot of the call centres back into the UK again because obviously India went into lockdown as well, and so they couldn't answer any of the calls. So that was a great idea. But yeah, that's what it's going into with the FIA. It's just like you can't communicate with someone through Zoom asking for, oh, what do you think we should do? Make the decision right there and then. Even if it's the wrong one, you know, later on you can sort it out later, but you've got to make the decision. The person who is there at the circuit at that time, you just can't keep fobbing it off to people from a HQ 1,000 miles away. It's because they're not there. You're the one that's there, not them. They don't know all the facts. You do. You're right there. So yeah, they've got to sort that out because it's just been an absolute joke with the inconsistencies. I mean, how they can give a penalty within what 5 seconds when the race before that it took them 3 days to work out the penalty. That's just absolute craziness. Here's my interpretation of that Japan race. It was just like, oh, come on, are we going to start this race now or what? I'll just start. Put them on inters. That'll do. Start. Come on, get the race. Start the race. And then the race started. It was the wrong tyres. Absolutely the wrong tyres. They should have started them on wet tyres. It's crazy because they were told it was going to rain heavier within 5 minutes. So yeah, the wets would have been the wrong tyres to start on, but they would have come into their own within about 5 minutes into the race. So they would have just had to, you know, creeped around for a little while until the tyres came in. They're still wet tyres. It was still raining, so they would have been fine, you know. Whereas the inters are really made for that transitional period between when it's starting to dry up and you go onto the dries. So that's what the inters are all about. That's what they're called intermediates. Yes, the conditions between wet and dry. That's why you have inters. But you don't put inters on to a condition that's going to go from wet to wetter. That's not what the inters are for. But the FIA, in their wisdom, said, no, just put them on the inters. A couple of people spun off. You had Carlos Sainz, of course, and then you had all the bullshit that came after that. And then there was like, what, a 2-hour delay. I'm not sure how long the delay was because I only get the highlights. There was no delay on my feed. It went straight into the race again. But then there was a 2-hour delay. And then they put a 40-minute clock on the board. Now, I've said about this before, but I'm just so pissed off. I can't remember how many times I've seen that clock this year. The countdown clock. It's ridiculous. You never used to see it like once every couple of years, but now it's every other race is a countdown clock. Oh yeah, because we run out of time. Absolutely stupid. So they put 40 minutes on the clock. Now, they put the 40 minutes on the clock because they knew, because they worked out the timings, that would take them to about 50% race distance. Yeah? Then they could award them half points. Makes sense, doesn't it? But then we get to this farce at the end of the race where the race is over and my Channel 4 commentary team, yes, Mr. Coulthard, Mr. Twat Coulthard and everyone else, it was actually Alex Jacks who said it, and I actually had to rewind the video because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But Alex Jacks came over and he said, oh, we've just heard that the point situation where you get, you know, quarter points for 25% and half points for 50, and then you get the full points for 75, doesn't actually apply to the 2022 season. And I'm like, so what season does it apply to then? If it doesn't apply to this season? because apparently it was implemented last year by Michael Massey before he left, but it's never actually became a rule. So the presenters of Formula One didn't even know what the rules were, and they present the bloody thing. Unbelievable. Then, of course, you had that cock up with the 5-second penalty for Charles Leclerc, and then Max Verstappen, he'd won it. Yeah. Oh, but it was just like the FIA were going, oh, just finish it now. Just get the championship out of the way. And that was it. Now, I've said this somewhere. I think it was in one of my Facebook chats. I said, surely it would have been better to have gone to the USA, and because you know what the US are like. They do like to put on a show. If you've ever seen any of the what do they call it? I don't even know what it's called. What do they call soccer out there? Whatever it is, American football. Yeah, if you've ever seen that, with the pom pom girls and all that. Yeah, if you've seen any of that, they really do put on a show. And they could have really gone to town for Max Verstappen, because it was obvious if he hadn't won it in Japan, he's going to win it in the USA, because he's so far ahead on points anyway. I mean, short of him breaking his leg, he was still going to, in fact, even if he had broken his leg, I'm sure he would have still won the championship, to be honest. So, yeah, it was no problem. They could have had a right old send-off for him. But what did he get? A 40-minute wet session in Japan, and it's oh, Max, by the way, you're world champion. Oh, congratulations. Oh, thanks. Bye now. I'm off to shag Kelly. Yeah. She's a go, isn't she? Old Kelly PK. Yeah, dirty little bugger. Do you know she left, what's his name? She was going out with, hang on, the name will come to me in a minute. The bloke that used to drive for Toro Rosso. Daniel Kvyat, that's the one. Daniel Kvyat. She used to go out with Daniel Kvyat, but she dumped him for Max Verstappen because his wallet was bigger. Yes. What a slut. That's it. That's me banned from YouTube. What a slut. Yes, so she used to go out with Daniel Kvyat, but then he got elbowed out of Red Bull or Toro Rosso, whichever he was at the time, and she thought, you know what women are like? She was like, prospects not looking good here. Oh, Max Verstappen could be world champion soon. Bye, Daniel. Bye. Hello there, Maxi boy. My name's Kelly PK. Yes, that's right. I have got a famous father. You're correct, yes. PK. Yes, PK. What's that you say? Drinks? Oh, yes, I'll go for a drink with you. And there you go. That's possibly their relationship started. In my head, anyway. That's probably not how it happened, but who knows? Who knows? So, yeah, as I say, it was an absolute farce of the end of a race and stupid. And now we've got 4 pointless races. Most of them are in the US, which is sad news for those guys because, if you're not fighting for championship, it's a known fact that the attendance levels for those races always drop down. So I think there's 2 in the US. There's 1 in Mexico. We got the USA is the next Grand Prix. Then I think there's 1 in Mexico. I think there's another 1 in the US. That's the new circuit, I think. And then of course we got the Abu Dhabi. But so it's going to be, it's going to be bad news for the people in the US because, as I say, it's a pointless race as they always are because the championship is now done and dusted. Whereas, as I say, they could have done it properly in the next race in the USA. But I say it's just the FIA just seemingly wanted to get the championship over and done with now for some unknown reason. I don't know why. And there you go. Just JMO says, Matt Lucas is presenting an award. I thought it was... Calm down, Jamie. I am not the only gay in the village. I used to love that bit. Little Britain. Great show. Really was. Will F1 is in the stream as well. Hello, Will F1. Dave forgetting what the crawl room is called. My mind goes blank. Well, he always used to call it the crawl wall, and I've got crawl wall now embedded in my psyche that I can't get it out. I can't get rid of it. So it's crawl wall. So he's changed it to the crawl room, and I can't get used to it. He's going to go back to it. He's got to go back to a wall next year. Unbelievable. Scott Barnes says that Lance Stroll start though, mega. Apart from that, disappointing. Yeah, he did do a very good start there. I have to admit, came out of nowhere. That was definitely a Hookster dive bomb. A Hookster dive bomb. He's probably been watching my all seasons, and that's where he got the idea from. In fact, everyone seems to be getting the ideas for racing out of my all seasons. It's outrageous, and I should copyright everyone. So there you go. Scott says, I watched the highlights. Red flag, advert break, green flag, 40 minutes. Oh, right. Thanks, Scott. Nice one. I don't blame Alex Jacks for being confused. I and everybody was. That's true. I don't blame him. I'm just saying that if he didn't know what the rules were, how the hell were we supposed to know what they were? Because he's presents F1, so he should at least know the rules. But yeah, it's not his fault. The FIA didn't inform him that those rules. Obviously, he's got lots of pieces of paper saying what the rules are, because if anything happens on the circuit, he then sort of quotes the rules and this is what's going to happen. He's probably got all that, and he's probably got a piece of paper with those rules implemented it on. But the FIA just forgot to tell everyone that they don't apply for the 22 season. Actually, yes. Because they just can't be bothered, can they? Matthew says, when's the next Dream Daddy episode? No idea, Matt. No idea. No idea. I come out in a cold sweat now every time it comes up my notifications. It's like, oh God. Oh God. I'm like a rabbit caught in the headlights. I don't want to watch it, but I can't stop myself. I'm like, oh God. No, please don't make me watch it. No, oh God, I'm watching it. Oh God, no. Oh, because it's very creepy shit. I'll tell you. Go and check him out on the Dominic Orlando channel. It's very creepy shit. And Dominic being Dominic makes it even more creepy shit than it normally is. But it's very creepy shit. Thankfully, he puts it on at about 4 o'clock in the morning in the UK, so most people are asleep. Thank God. Because I'll tell you, with that kind of content, he is going to frighten small children. Yes. And he has to be careful because small children get up at 5 in the morning. Yes. And he's still streaming then sometimes. It's about time YouTube banned him, really. It's just not on. Mr. Iron Patriot, hello sir, welcome to the stream. He says, Dave, dirty Verstappen like dirty Schumacher. Yes, indeed. Will F1, the 25%, 50%, 75% point system was brought in this year because of Spa 2021. Yes, I understand that. It's just that they haven't actually implemented it for the 2022 season. They brought it in, but they haven't actually implemented it, which is a big difference. And it's a big difference. It's like saying that this is what the new rules are going to be, and then when it comes to it, oh no, yeah, we said that, but we haven't actually implemented it yet. So there you go. Will says it's Brazil, not 2 is USA. Oh, is it? Oh, Brazil, that's right, Brazil. I was getting confused. Iron Patriot says, I prefer watching all seasons. Dave the myth, the legend. Well, thank you. Yes. We've been going a very long time on the all seasons as well. 5.5 years now. 5.5 years of dedication. When I started that all seasons, I was a very young man. Yes, only 25 years old, in fact. Now, unfortunately, I'm well into my 50s. So that tells you how long I've been doing it for. I was in my prime when I started, but right now I'm in my Nigel Mansell years. Yes, my Nigel Mansell years. Yes. Or for the modern audience, I'm in my Fernando Alonso years. Yes. I'm getting near to the end, but I just don't admit it to myself yet. Just JMO says, does that mean Chatham is full of mincers? Yes, quite possibly. As I never go outside, I've no idea, Jamie. No, I because the door's locked, and no, never go outside in Chatham after dark. Fatal, fatal. Yeah, you'll lose more than your virginity if you do. I'll tell you that. Iron Patriot says 80s and 90s were the best F1 years. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Mostly because that's when I started watching Formula One. About 1988, I've probably said this before. 1988, I watched a few sporadic races. Nothing too. I was like, this is rather interesting. I was like, this is rather interesting. Don't forget, of course, I never saw any of the races from the 70s. I have seen them on YouTube and stuff like that, but I've never actually seen like a whole season from the 70s. So, and the 70s was supposed to be great, but everyone says their own decade is great anyway, to be honest, don't they? But yeah, so I started in 1988, watched a few sporadic races and thought, I rather like this. And then, of course, 1992, when Nigel Mansell won the championship at Williams, I did dedicate sort of my whole watching that whole season. Yes. And that was pretty good. Unfortunately, in 1993, I got snowed under with work, so I really... In fact, I don't remember watching any of the 93 season, unfortunately, not even the highlights. But it was 1994 when I said, right, that's it. Sod work. I am now, because I'm only saying that because I used to work on Sundays, you see, that's why I missed a lot of the races, because I used to work 7 days a week. So I said, right, that's it. And of course, we had the marvels of technology like video recorders and stuff like that. So, back in the late 80s, I still didn't have a video, so I couldn't actually watch it. And if you missed the highlights, then that was it. Back in the day, it was gone. It was gone. So yeah, so I said, right, 1994, I'm going to dedicate myself to Formula One from now on. It was a very bad year to pick, unfortunately, due to the death of Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger and everything else that went on in the sport. But that wasn't my fault. It's just my decision to watch it. And but ever since then, I have been sort of dedicated to Formula One, even through its ups and downs. Formula One is like a roller coaster, as to be said. You get good years and you get bad years, and you've basically just got to ride the roller coaster and hope that things get better. You know in your own mind when it's up for Formula One and watching it. But if you have a bad year, you really shouldn't say, right, that's it, I'm not going to watch it anymore. Go back and watch the next year. It's when you get, if you get a dip of about a 4 or 5 year peak of nothing and your interest is just, then that's time to say, me and Formula One, that's it, fair enough. But you shouldn't just judge it on 1 year, as I say, because it's like a roller coaster. It goes down, it goes up again and goes down again. And I'm sure anyone who's disillusioned right now with Formula One, and there's a lot of people out there, I'm sure in the next 5 years, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, you will get at least one season where you're going to be really excited for F1 again. It's going to happen because something you're going to get a championship that's maybe going to be a very close battle or anything like that, and it's going to renew your interest again. So as I say, don't judge it just on 1 year. Just go with it. But yeah, as I say, if your interest drops for like 3 or 4 years, 5 years on the trot, and you're like, you really can't muster the enthusiasm, then yeah, it is definitely time to call it a day. Call it a day. Martin Brundle's in the chat. Well, hello, Martin. I used to love you on the BBC coverage. Yes, not so much now on Sky because I don't get it. But well done. He says Hamilton. Well, excuse me, I'm going to stay. Almost, not quite. I'm sure it's this bloody bear that makes me sneeze. I only sneeze on a Thursday. It's the bear. Is it you? Is it you? Are you full of that, what's it called, fibres that get out my nose? Is it you? Bastard bear. Hamilton will retire as a 10 times champion, 150 wins, and an undisputed greatest of all time. I agree with you. I think he will. Yeah, 10 times world champion for Hamilton. It's going to happen. Not really. No, I can't see it for Lulu anymore. I really can't. He's going to be he's still going to be in Formula One, as they said, possibly another 5 years, according to Toto Wolff. Oh, God. Oh, God. But he's not... I think next year is going to be the yardstick. If Lewis Hamilton is still sort of in the same position, because I believe... So I think Will told me last week he's in 6th place. If he ends up in 6th place again next year, then that will definitely be the yardstick to say that his performance has definitely tailed off, which is natural because he's 37 years old, which means a lot of sportsmen, that's sort of the end of their performance curve, especially in Formula One. Now, of course, you've got the exceptions. You've got Fernando Alonso, of course, doing very well at the moment, but even Fernando, of course, he disappeared for a couple of years and then he's come back again, which I think that break probably gives you a little bit of, renewed vigor when you come back. You're like, yes, I'm pumped and I'm ready to go. So if Lewis doesn't disappear for a bit and come back, I think that his performance level now has possibly reached his peak. So he'll end up possibly eventually as a number 2 to George Russell. Lewis now, he's sort of he's reminded me of Riccardo Patrese, if anyone remembers him. Yeah, he was a great driver, but he wasn't ever sort of the best driver, and his performance definitely tailed off towards the end of his career, and that's what I'm thinking that Lewis Hamilton's starting to become now, a Riccardo Patrese. Yes. Which is better than a Latifi, let's be honest. He doesn't even know where the track is half the time. Poor lad. Iron Patriot says Hamilton and Mercedes will be ready for 2020. There you go. You've heard it here first. I've said that on this show before. I'd like to see that. I want to see, like the old days, back in 97, when you had a three-way fight, because you had Williams in there, you had Ferrari in there, and you had, I think it was Benetton. Benetton was sort of on the fringes there, but you still had a 6-car. At any single race, you could have a 6-car fight for the win, which was great to see. And that's why I think the 97 season, in a lot of people's eyes, was so exciting, because you had that, opportunity for a 6-way fight of anyone that could win that race. Because that Williams started very, very strong, but tailed off towards the end, and the others started coming through. And in fact, towards the end of 97, McLaren resurged upwards, and oh my God, they started winning all the races at the end, and everyone went, how did that happen? How did that happen? And of course, 98, absolute domination. So there we knew. But yeah, that's what made 97 such a great season, because any one of those 6 could actually get up there onto the top step. And that's what I say we need right now, because let's face it, this season has been pretty boring. It's had a few good races. There's been no really great races the whole of the season, but it's had some good races, but that's been about it. The rest of it has been very humdrum and blah, blah, blah. There's been nothing to sort of... There's nothing about a 22 season that is going to be replayed on Sky Sports in 20 years as an F1 classic race, is it? Let's face it. None of the 22 season, I don't think, are ever going to be replayed in that manner. So yeah, it's been quite a bad season, but that's what I want to see. I want to see Mercedes and Ferrari, if they can get their act together, which, oh God, let's not go down that road. Please. Let's not go down that road. But yeah, Ferrari need to get their act together. But if they do and Mercedes do as well, then I want to see them fight with Max. Now, congratulations to Max for winning the championship. But let's face it, towards the end of this year, he's had very little competition. In fact, most of his competition has come from his own teammate, Checo, who has done an absolutely superb job in that sister Red Bull. That's been his most competition, to be honest. I mean, when he wasn't there, Checo certainly bloody was. And so it was great to see. But apart from the other teams, Ferrari and Mercedes, there's been very little competition. Very little. There's been a few moments when they've been close, but nothing really to get up there with Max. So that's disappointing. There's not a lot you can do about it. I mean, what's Max supposed to do? Slow down? No, obviously not. He can't. There's nothing he can do either. If your car's faster than everyone else's, or you've got the talent to make the car faster than everyone else's, then fair play to you. But yeah, next year I would love to see Mercedes and Ferrari up there, and we can have a nice 6-way battle for the championship, and that would be great. Whether that happens or not, don't know. We will see. But don't forget, of course, this was the first year for the new regulations. Next year, they should have those regulations now pretty much nailed down going into the second year. All the problems they've had this year, they will have spent all year in the testing bays and development areas. A bit like, F1 manager. They'll be tweaking all the parts. And all the teams should come out of the box next year knowing everything that needs to be done. Porpoising next year should not be a single word that should be said in any Formula 1 race next year. There should be no porpoising from any of the teams next year whatsoever. If there is, that's a very, the team has definitely got it completely wrong, because they should have that nailed next year. And I'm glad, because if I never hear the word porpoising again, I'll be very glad indeed, because it was just horrible. It ruined the start of the season, because that's all we heard during the races. Oh no, the porpoising, oh, the jumping up and down. When they used to go on board and you could see the car jumping up and down. It gave me a headache just watching it. Christ knows what it was like for the drivers, but just watching it gave me a headache, because I was like, oh God. And also I was thinking to myself, this isn't Formula 1, is it? This is crazy person's Formula 1. It really is. Surely they could have sorted that out. Surely. They're the best engineers, designers in quite possibly the world. Well, in regard to single-seater racing, they're the best in the world. And they couldn't stop a car from bouncing up and down. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But apparently they couldn't. So there you go. Scott says if Celebrity Barnes was head of FIA, he will sort things out. Absolutely, Scott. Absolutely. Sort them out. They need to sort them. Martin Bundle says the FIA have been thoroughly disappointing. Yes, they have. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is, and I'm even going back to the Bernie years and also the Max Mosley years as well. A lot of people moaned about Max, but look at what we got now. The Max Mosley years look bloody decent compared to what we got now, don't they? But the Bernie years as well, I have to say, look at what we had then and what we got now. It's just, there's no comparison really, is there? So, yeah, but I'm pretty sure if we get Michael Massey out of the equation, because he was only one person making wrong decisions, but if we get him out of the equation, so if we look at all the other sort of things that happened last year, it wasn't as bad. It was just that Michael Massey was getting all the flack for it. I would say this year has been the worst for inconsistent decisions made by the FIA. I think it's been the worst for a very long time. Very long time. So hopefully, as I say, next year, as soon as this championship's over, the FIA need to have this big fuck off meeting, a big meeting, get everyone together, and they say, if I was the FIA, I'd literally throw out everything that Michael Massey tried to implement, thought he had implemented and hadn't, and the FIA thought he had and hadn't. I would just throw the whole lot out the window, get a big writing pad, completely blank, and start again from scratch. You might as well, and they could start it early as well, because the season's finished, okay? So why not start it early? All they've got to do now for the FIA for the last 4 rounds is make decisions on what's happening. So, use that time, sit down with everyone and sort it out for next year, as I say. And to go forwards, they probably need to go backwards, which means get rid of all the Michael Massey shit, get a blank piece of paper and start again. And look at everything more sensibly than what you are. And make decisions a lot quicker. And make sure that it's the person that's there that's making the decision. As I say, not someone who's 1,000 miles away in some Ponzi HQ. Iron Patriot says 8th title and retirement after. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Plynal Plessy says Red Bull's cost cap was spent on catering. Wow. Catering. That's a lot of sausage rolls for Maxi Boy, isn't it? A lot of sausage rolls. That's a lot of trips to Greg's. A lot of trips to Greg's for Maxi Boy. Wowzers. For Lewis, says Iron Patriot. Yes, indeed. Just James says, no 8th title. Russell will beat him. There you go. You heard it here first as well. Iron Patriot says Russell will take the title for 2024. Wow, all these predictions. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Matthew says, nah, Lewis is faster than Russell. I'd love to see history being made. There you go. Another first. Saying that Russell's consistency is amazing. Yeah, I have to say it is. It is. He's done very well in that car, considering that car is certainly not the best that Mercedes ever made. In fact, I mean, Lewis started comparing it to his 2009 car. I don't know quite where he's coming from now. If you look back at the 2009 season, which after he made that comment, I did. I just checked out a couple of the races, because I have got all the races recorded on DVD. I just checked out a couple of the races, you know, a couple of the positions and where he was. I don't get where he's coming from. Yeah, obviously 2009 you had the almighty Brawn, so he was never gonna beat that. That was just an unstoppable force. But that car wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. So I don't know where he was coming from there, but there you go. Iron Patriot. 1992 was my first whole season as well. Well, there you go, sir. There you go. Yes. Nigel Mansell. It's Mansell. It's Senna. It's Prost. It's Hill. It's Berger. It's Lacey. Oh, God. Those were the days. Those were the days. Proper Formula One. That's what I say. And we need to bring it back to proper Formula One before everyone decides to switch off completely. And then we won't have Formula One. Because the trouble with sport is, if nobody watches it, it won't come to fruition, because it only works if people watch it. So if everyone switches off, there won't be any Formula. And I think that'll be a shame. If Formula One's going to go, then it needs to die naturally. It needs to get to a state where it's so bad that, you know, everyone stops watching it, and then it gradually drifts off, and then we'll see an announcement on the news saying, oh, Formula One has been cancelled from now on. You know? That's what we want. But we will see what happens. We will see what happens. I'm still waiting to see what happens in 2030, because Sky have got the rights till 2029. They didn't include 2030 though, did they? Because of course it's their first year of net zero, when they're supposed to have absolutely no emissions from anything to do with Formula One, which, as I've said before, is ludicrous and will never work. So what's going to happen then? Is Formula One's final season going to be 2029? Could be. It could very well be. I know one thing: if it goes electric, that will be my year 2030, where I say thank you and good night, because I am not under any circumstances watching an electric F1 Grand Prix. No way, Jose. No, that's it for me. I've only stuck out this long because they still got petrol engines in the car, even though it's only a stupid 1.6 litre. 1.6 litre! Jesus Christ! Oh my God. 1.6 litre. Considering they were 1.6, it's a V6. And considering the Ferraris back in the day were V12s, 3.5 litre engines. 3.5 litre engines. Oh. If you've ever heard of Ferrari V12, it's a sound like no other, and it's sad that sound is disappearing, because it's just a beautiful sound. It really is. Not like these little tin pot engines they've got these days. It was a beautiful sound, but unfortunately, it's not going to last much longer, because there's no way that V12s are going to survive in the next 20 years, because everything's going to be banned and what have you. So there you go. Just JMO says, Lewis is a melt. If they sort their car out, Russell will smash him, and he will spend the season crying like he did with Rosberg. Thank you, Jamie. Nice opinion. So there you go. Lewis is a melt. Sir Lulu. Without Sir Lulu, I wouldn't have anything really to take the piss out of in Formula One. So I'm glad that he's in Formula One, and I hope he does stick around for another 5 years. I really do. Because, yeah, he is great comedy material. And without him, I mean, there isn't really anyone else. Who else can you take the piss out of what they wear in Formula One? Just, can you think of another driver? No, me neither. So, well done, Lulu. Iron Patriot says Russell is inexperienced for the title. On 2034, he is going to be ready. 2034, bloody hell. Hang on, I don't even think I'll be alive then, will I? What are we in now? 2022, 2030. Oh, that's 12 years away. Oh, no way. No, I won't still be here in 12 years. No. That's it. I'll be done. Mate. Can you imagine it? Hello, everyone. And welcome to the All Seasons Career Mode on F1 2021. Yes. I'm only about 10 years behind. Shut the fuck up. I will catch up one day. Oh. Fucking hell. Let's hope not. One thing for sure, I definitely don't want to be doing the all seasons in 2034. Bloody hell. Oh, he's changing to 2024. I was going to say that's a bit too far in the future for me. 2024, I understand. Yep. Will says Hamilton is only faster in qualifying. Russell owns Hamilton in races. Hamilton won't get an 8th title. There you go. Plunal Pletty says Ant and Deck won that award for the billionth time. Boo! Yes, boo boo. Boo boo to Ant and Deck. Yes. Lulu is a melt. I'd love to see Hamilton as a number 2 driver. Ooh. Yes. Well, that's why I was comparing to Riccardo Patrese, because that's what Riccardo Patrese had to do as his career was taking, as I say, he's going in his downturn. He was the number 1 driver, then he ended up as the number 2 driver because his career was, going down. So that's why I'm comparing Lewis to Riccardo. Just Jomo says, I like Will F1. He already is, isn't he? Ooh, controversial. I don't think Lulu would agree with you there, Jamie. I don't think Lulu would agree with you. No, I don't think he'd say he's a number 2 driver, but there you go. And in the fashion stakes, everyone knows he is number 1. Numero uno. Number 1. Yes. Number 1. I mean, he's got so much more fashion sense than me. Look at me sitting here with a bloody sheepskin coat on, or whatever you call it. Unbelievable. It's not really fashion, is it? Bloody hell. Now, if anyone wonders why I keep wearing this coat, it's only while I'm here because I haven't got the central heating on. Because, as you know, the government may be announcing, or at least they may be encouraging leaflets to come through the door asking for us in the UK to save on energy. Now, I'd like to hear your views on that. I myself have been doing that anyway. The central heating is pretty much only comes on once every Wednesday. Apart from that, it's not coming on, and I've been very good with keeping the electricity down as well. So I've been doing my bit. In fact, I even got to such a level where I was thinking of not continuing these streams, because obviously while I'm doing this stream right now, I am using electricity. But I have got a little thing on to see how much electric I'm using on the meter, and I have to say I've been and had a look at it while I've been streaming, and because I'm just sitting here in one room, these lights are all like LCDs, very low energy lights. So even though it looks pretty bright in here, super bright, in fact, they're very, very low energy lights, so they're not using much. So for the whole of this stream, I think I'm using about 112 watts or something like that. So I think I'll carry on. As I say, I am doing my bit anyway. I do try and keep the electric as low as I can. So, I'll carry on with the streams. I think if the streams were like using 500 watts at a time, I'd probably say I haven't got justification to keep doing that. But, they're not too bad. So I think I'll probably carry on. But what do you people think about, being asked by the government to reduce your energy consumption? Is it something you actively do now? Or do you think, sod that, I ain't going to bother? As I say, it's entirely voluntary, so you don't have to do it. But you know, but I've just been, but I was doing this before any of this energy crisis came along anyway. So I was always, turning lights off and trying to use as little energy as possible, because every time you're using energy, you got to pay for it, and that's always the problem for me. So yeah, I was doing it way before it came along. So yeah. Fun fact, says Will F1, McLaren were the only team in 1997 and 2021 to get a 1-2 and finish 4th in the World Drivers' Championship. Well, there you go. You heard it here first, everyone. This season was good to start, but since mid-season has gone quiet. Yeah, I agree. It has gone very quiet. JW97 says, blame Ferrari. Yes, blame Ferrari. Why not? Everyone should be blaming Ferrari, because when they started the season, they offered us a cracking little championship. A cracking little championship that was looking like it was going to be the best of the season. Then what happened? Oh, Ferrari became Ferrari and decided to completely cock themselves up without any help from any of the other teams. No, they did. Oh, unbelievable. But those first 2 races, I was like, yes, Ferrari are back, everyone. And Max was in trouble. At the start of the season, Max was in trouble. There was that engine failure he had, didn't he? He was in trouble. And I thought, yes, finally, we're going to get a cracking seat. And then what happened? No idea. Ferrari just being Ferrari, and that was it. Completely gone. And then Max just ran away with it and got to the position where he's 106 points clear. Unbelievable. Obviously, that's a lot to do with the current point situation where you get 25 for a win, so it's quite easy to get that far ahead. But 106 points clear, that was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, so well done Ferrari for cocking up our season. I was getting well excited, thinking we were going to have a cracker, a real cracker. And what did we end up with? A damp squid in the end. Damp squid. Not happy, Ferrari. Not happy at all. And the other damp squid, as I spoke about last week, but I'll just reiterate, the other damp squid has been these cars for this year. They promised so much. We had, what's his name, Ross Brawn, talking about the new cars back in 2019 and showing the mock-up models of it and saying this was going to be the turning point for Formula One. Really exciting racing and everything else. None of that has happened. Apart from the new shape of the cars and the fact that they're now ground effect cars that really, apart from the porpoising, which seems to have been sorted now, nobody really cares that they're ground. What difference has ground effect cars made anyway, to be honest? Not a lot. They were promising overtakes all over the show. That hasn't happened. I'm not saying there isn't overtakes, but the overtakes are just the same amount of frequency as last year's car. So yeah, the revolutionary new cars, which I've been waiting for, of course it was delayed for a year because of COVID anyway. I was waiting really excitedly for these cars, and I have to say they've been a complete and utter disappointment. And to me now, they just feel like the same as last year's cars, just with a few more bits of wing on them. You know, those stupid little winglets over the front wheels. I hate them with a passion. It's called open wheel for a reason, because the wheels are supposed to be open. But no, they have to go and put those stupid little winglets on the... Ugh! I wish, but of course, I don't think they're going to get rid of them now, because that's going to be it, isn't it? Because it's part of the aerodynamic of the car. So, they've got to be there. But, hate them. Absolutely hate them. Really do. That's my real bugbear. I know it's a stupid thing to have a bugbear about, but I just hate those little winglets. They're just horrible. Horrible. Will says, yeah, he is too, but Toto still probably sees Lewis as still number one for some reason. Well, if you saw that interview on Channel 4 with Toto Wolff, where he did speak quite candidly, I have to say, about his mental health and the issues that he's had. And as someone who has had issues in the past as well, and currently having a few issues at the moment as well with mental health, I have to say it was very brave for a team principal of a top sport to actually come out and admit these things, because you always, as a leader, you always have to seem, or you have to come across as being very, very strong. Otherwise, people class you as weak, and then you no longer become a leader. That's very sad, but that's how it happens. So I was very sort of, not really shocked, but I was sort of surprised that Toto would have come out and said what he did. But well done, and fair play to him for coming out and saying that he has had issues, and I think he's still having issues at the moment. But yes, in that interview, Toto, you could see that there's still a great affection for Lewis from Toto Wolff, because obviously he's been there so long, and I can't see that affection going anytime soon, only when Lewis retires. So I think there's still that connection between Toto and Lewis, so it's probably the reason why he still regards him as his number one. I don't think George will ever, unless his pace just comes out of nowhere and he starts winning all the races, I don't think that will change for Toto. He'll still regard Lewis as number one, even if I think Lewis starts doing better than, if George Russell starts doing better than Lewis. I still don't think he'll get sort of swapped around and regarded as the number two driver. I think in Toto's eyes, he'll always be the number one until he retires or leaves for another team or something. Jedi 97, I've just realised a clean shaven. Yes, that's me. I did this specially just before I came on air, actually. Yes, I literally just put the computer on, because I always restart it before I do these streams so it works properly. I put the computer on and I literally just walked past the mirror and suddenly went, fucking hell, my beard was like this. I don't know if you probably all knew if you were tuned in last week. My beard was like this, because I never look at myself. I don't know about you, but I never look at me, not in the mirror. No, never do. So I could be like Father Christmas and I wouldn't know. I must admit, it was starting to get a bit itchy and annoying. So that's usually the time when I say, yeah, it's definitely time to shave it off. So yeah, I did this especially just before I come on air. So there you go. I was also hoping that I might have won the National Television Award. So I wanted to be, nice and clean for the occasion, just in case, I get presented by Ant and Dec from their sickbed for the award, which would have been great, absolutely great. Because I think I should get that award by now, because my contribution to, broadcasting is legendary. If anyone's watched my videos and gone, what the fuck is that? Legendary. Totally blame Ferraris as well. JW97 says the pack should close up season by season. Just need to give these regs time. Yeah, that's true. We should give them a bit of time. I'm very impatient though, so yeah, I want it done now. Now, sort it. Will says obviously Sky F1 won't replay races from this year in the future because Mercedes haven't won anything. Ooh, controversial. I keep hearing about this Sky devotion to Mercedes. Unfortunately, I haven't got Sky, so I haven't. I'll have to watch a Sky race and see what you lot are on about. I'm sure I can find one somewhere. I'll watch a Sky. I know they do some of them on Sky Showcase. I think I've probably got a few recorded somewhere. I'll go back and watch one of them and see what it is you guys keep saying about Mercedes, because that's all I hear is about their love affair with Mercedes. But as I say, I've never experienced it because I don't get Sky. So I'll go back and watch one and see what you're on about. I'll get back to you. Do you think F1 should have one wet tyre instead of two? Interesting. Yeah, I think they should. I think they should have one wet tyre instead of two, to be honest. I mean, the Inters, I don't know. Are they really necessary? Would it be better to go or maybe what they should do is have like a hybrid inter wet tyre. An inter wet. That sounds pretty decent. I like that. An inter wet tyre, which is sort of a half and half of the inter and the wet. So basically, when it starts to dry out, you can come straight off the inter wet onto the dry tyre. I think that would be a good thing to have. I mean, the inters, let's face it, they, apart from some of the races where it's constantly drizzling down, you have to have the inters for the whole race. The inters really, they are that transitional, aren't they? So they're only really for about 2 or 3 laps before you change onto the dries or onto the full wets, depending on what the weather cycle's doing, whether it's either drying up or getting wetter. So yeah, I think one tyre would be better. I'm pretty sure they could come out with some kind of inter-wet, which is a sort of half and half sort of grading of the tyre, and just stick to that. I'd like to see that, yeah. Jedi97 says other series have one wet tyre, and given that drivers are pressured to go onto the inter due to their performance of wet tyres being crap, maybe F1 should consider it. I think, yeah, I think they should. As I say, just like a little bit deeper groove on the inter tyre to make it, as I say, an inter wet. So it's you've got that slight more transitional process, and just keep it like that. I think that would work. Now, of course, if I remember back in the day, you used to only have a wet, didn't you? Back in the old days of Formula One, there wasn't intermediates. There was just dry and wet, wasn't there? And then I think in the 90s they came out with the monsoon tyre, didn't they? Which was for extreme wet conditions. But I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, we only ever had one wet. The inters is a pretty new thing to Formula One. Well, new from our standards anyway. It's probably been around for quite a few years now. But yeah, so yeah, I think one wet tyre would be more beneficial, because if you've got an inter that's only going to last 2 or 3 laps anyway, as I say, because they're supposed to be for transitional, whether it's either drying out or getting wetter, then just make the inter a little bit deeper grooved, not as grooved as the wet, so it doesn't actually become a full wet, but just a little bit more grooved than what the intermediate is, so it's sort of more of a transition, so you can use it that way. I think it'd be a good idea. I shall put that forward to the FIA for their new rules for 2023 on their blank piece of paper. Yes. Will F1 says 2021 had a lot of stupid decisions as well, to be honest. They did, but most of those apparently were caused by Michael Massey. But we won't go into that because we don't actually know. I actually don't want Hamilton to get another title. He's already won far enough. He has. But who knows? He may come back really strong next year and get that coveted 8th title and finally beat Michael Schumacher. So we will see. McLaren were uncompetitive at the start of 2009, but was brilliant in the second half of the season. Yeah. I watched a couple of the 2009s, and that car really wasn't as bad as Lewis made out. So, yeah. Look at Hamilton's first half of 2009. That car was terrible. Yeah, it was the start of it, but after that, it did get better, I have to say, and it certainly wasn't as bad as he said it was. Of course, you had the brawn, so there was no comparison there, because they were just out of the park. They knocked it out of the park, as they used to say back on, what was that show I used to watch? American show, American Chopper. Oh yeah, anyone remember American Chopper? I used to watch that religiously on Discovery. Let's not start talking about TV again, but yeah, I used to love that show. Hamilton fans say it was a bad car, says Will F1. JW97 says, I doubt it will go electric. I think it will be zero emissions petrol, I think. Well, let's hope so. But what I'm saying about the zero emissions is, surely that must include the whole infrastructure of Formula One, not just the cars themselves doing the races. Surely that must mean the trucks going to the circuit would have to produce, zero emissions. Surely the jumbos that take the parts on the flyaway races would have. That's my interpretation of it anyway, because it purely says, if you look at the board behind the when you see the F1 drivers, you see the board. It says was it net zero? I would have thought that would refer to the whole of Formula One, but if it's just referring to the races, that's a bit of a cop out, isn't it? Really, it's a little bit of a cop out, to be honest. Why just, because they must use the most carbon emissions on the aircraft to get them to the races, and on the big trucks to get them to the races, more than the race itself. So for me, that would only work for the whole infrastructure of Formula One. That's why I've always said that it won't work. It won't work because the big rig trucks, I'm pretty sure there is not an electric motor currently out there that can be powerful enough to drive a big rig truck. I haven't seen one. I've not seen any news of a big rig truck that's got enough power to drag all the Formula One gear around. I don't think that's going to work. Jumbo jets, they are experimenting with these bioethanol fuels, which, are completely carbon free, but they're experimenting, and they've admitted that it could be a decade away, because the one thing you have to remember is jet fuel is completely different from the fuel that's in your car. It's completely different. Jet fuel has been tested and refined over the last 50 years to become what it is today. Jet fuel is designed, if your plane crashes into the ground, it's designed not to go up like a Roman candle if that happens. That fuel has been designed not to do that. Obviously, in some cases, it still does. But it's been designed it's been refined over the last 50 years so that if your plane hits the deck really hard, the fuel should not ignite. That's the plan. That's the theory anyway. Now, to replicate that in a biofuel is very, very difficult indeed. So as I say, they've admitted themselves it could be a decade off before they actually get to biofuels for aircraft. So, in my mind, that isn't really net zero. If the big jumbo jets taking the parts of the races is still using jet fuel, that's not net zero, is it? Not really. But anyway, it's just my opinion. The McLaren was a beast at the end of the season. Kovalainen was so crap. Yes, he was. Iron Patriot says, I remember hearing Ferrari's Alesi V12 3.5 litre engine. That was music on my ears. It was beautiful, beautiful. I'm sure if you click on YouTube and just put that into the search bar, you'll probably get a video of that engine going around the track somewhere. I'm sure it is, because it's beautiful, beautiful. Scott Barnes says, I thought Lewis was a corned beef pastry. He is. JW97 says, Zool probably in terms of fashion. Oh, yes. I can never say his name. Zool. No, Joe, innit? Quan Yu Joe. That's the one. Yes. Second only to Lewis in the fashion stakes. Well, that's a pretty low bar, to be fair, isn't it? That's a pretty low bar. Teletubby, anyone? Teletubby? Was that one we had that T-code on his head? That was great. I love that one. I think that was his best. Bill says Don won't be happy if he sees the comments in this chat. No, he won't. He won't. Iron Patriot says candles is a good method for energy reduction. Yes, it is. Candles. Get your candles out. Don might answer no because Latifi scored points, says Will F1. Along with 5 blankets and a bottle of whiskey. Exactly, that's what you need. 5 blankets and a bottle of whiskey. JW97 says sack Matteo Benotto and bloody hell, Aniki Raider, is that the name? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, get rid of them. In fact, sack all them. I've said this before on the stream. Get rid of all the Ferrari. The trouble with Ferrari is it seems to be a generational team, whereas the people in it seem to go on, and then the next generation are like relatives of the ones that are already in it, and that's how it seems to be, a generational team. And so the people in it, some of them are getting very old now. I'm old myself, but you need to get to a point where you have to admit that it's time to move on. It's time to go out into the vineyards and start growing your wine and not trying to design Formula One cars. You know, your time is gone. It's, you know, get on with it and let some new blood get into that team. There seems to be far too many middle-aged men in Ferrari at the moment. Yeah, they need a new injection of blood, fresh ideas. I'm not adverse to fresh ideas whatsoever. If you can come in with a good idea, why the hell not? Why the hell not? But I just think there's too many old people at Ferrari. Every time I look in the pit garage, it just reminds me of an old people's home. I'm sure when they're going around the circuit, the old Ferrari mechanics are sitting there drinking their tea, going, "Ooh, should we go get the tyres? Nah, it's all right. Leave it a couple more laps yet. We got plenty of time. Plenty of time." Yeah. So get rid of them all. Get a fresh team in there. See what happens. I reckon they'll do a lot better, to be honest. Iron Patriot says, those winglets for the front wheels. Blur. Absolutely, I agree with you. Blur. Horrible. It reminds me too much of Formula E as well, which is not where I want Formula One to go. So that's why I don't like it. As I say, it's an open wheel, champ. It's supposed to be an open wheel. Surely they spent 3 years designing that car. They could have designed it without the winglets. Surely. Surely. Oh, dear. I'll tell you what the car looks. It looks like a shark to me. If you look at it, it looks like a shark. Looks like that's what the design they were going for. Great white shark. Great news. Will says, new regs need time. If 2023 is a great and exciting season, people will like the cars a lot more. That's true. Bring back middle 2000s car design along with the new engines at least. Yeah, middle 2000s, that was a great time for the car design of the car, I do admit. Scott Barnes says, Monsoon Wet was 1997 and Inters was 1998, I think. There you go. Yeah, so it has been fairly new for the Inters. Fairly new. No 8th title for Lulu, says Will F1. Matthew D'Souza says, who is Alex Gillian? Alex Gillian is a famous F1 YouTuber, Matt. Famous, and he's on Facebook Gaming. What do you mean you've never heard of Facebook Gaming? That's outrageous. It's the best platform on the planet. Yes, it is. It is. This is how good Facebook Gaming is. They actually send emails out to these good creators. Not me. I never got one. But these good creators, you know, who've got a certain amount of views and subscribers. Probably, they don't have to be that big though. I'm talking in the 50,000 range. So, you know, middle of the road YouTubers. They send out emails asking if they want to join Facebook Gaming. And they give them incentives in hard cash terms, you know, hard cash. Yeah, filthy lucre. You know where I'm coming from, Matt, don't you? Yeah, that's right. Just to join their platform. And then they join the platform of Facebook Gaming, and then basically Facebook Gaming, they do nothing for them. They drop them like a shitty stick and just let them get on with it. Then they soon discover that no one's actually on Facebook Gaming. Nobody watches videos from Facebook Gaming. And so they usually end up leaving. That's how it happens. Yeah. But the money up front, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous numbers. So I've heard. Because obviously they're not going to send me one, are they? No, never. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. So unfortunately that means you'll never see me on Facebook Gaming. No, it's never going to happen. Never going to happen. I will not be brought for any... Well, if you want to send me a donation, that's fine. I'll be most appreciated. But I won't be brought by anyone. So you will never see me on Facebook Gaming. No. Unbelievable. And the thing is, you don't get likes on there either. They're like stars. So you get like star ratings for your videos instead of likes. That would confuse the hell out of me. So the more people that press on the star button, you get like 3 to 5 stars, you know. Nah. I have a lot of problems with YouTube, but as a platform, it does exactly what I want it to. So I will be staying on YouTube because, as I say, there's no point in going anywhere else because it does what it needs to do. So fair enough. And I'm here, and this is where everyone knows I'm here. So why would I disappear over to someone else? To be honest, can't be bothered. So there you go. And Scott says, I agree, Matt. Bloody hell, I've been waffling for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I don't believe it. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Right. Alex Gillian is a bit of a knob. You heard it here first, everyone. I can't comment on that because I am an F1 YouTuber. He's an F1 YouTuber. And it's not right for me to say that Alex Gillian is a bit of a knob. No, I would never say Alex Gillian is a bit of a knob. But it is fine to quote other people who are saying that in my chat. As you can see, Scott Barnes clearly says Alex Gillian is a bit of a knob. Yes, so there you go. But as I say, I could never say Alex Gillian is a bit of a knob myself, because you know we're all fellow YouTubers, and you know I wouldn't want to be accused of any kind of, you know, bullying or anything like that. I'm just merely looking down at my tablet here and reading that Scott Barnes says that Alex Gillian is a bit of a knob. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Right. It's time for our favourite part of the show. It's time to stop my video. Or at least my face. Everyone goes, yay! Finally, the bald-headed old bastard's gone. Oh, they're going off, for cock's sake. Jesus. Right, it's time for that time. Now, I had a message from a Mr. Oh, bloody hell. Not that bit. Put it over there. Sorry, I am live. Live, alive, alive, alive. Now, there's a message at the start of the stream from Mr. Dominic Orlando. So what I'm going to do is, before I go to the general chat, I'm going to see if he's still about, so he can comment on the magnificence of Latifi at the weekend. If I can find his name. Where is it? Oh, there it is, right down there. Oh, we might not be good here because he was only online 29 minutes ago. Let's give him a try. If not, we'll go to the general. Oh, I've got sound. Hello? I'm back. Yeah, sorry if I knock this microphone sometimes, it it actually switches itself off for some unknown reason. So I have to be very careful I don't bang it. And I have just banged it. I can see that I'm back on because it's the little meter's going up and down. So hello, I'm back, everyone. So I'll repeat what I said, which you didn't hear because I had no microphone. He says Dominic Orlando is funny, Alex Guinness isn't. 167 subscribers, which is not bad. The other has thousands, which is not fair. And the reason for that is Tiamat Marduk. Tiamat Marduk, yes, who is one of the biggest F1 YouTubers. And back in the old days, we used to say it was called following on the coattails of someone bigger. And that's exactly what he's done. And that's where he's got to where he is today. Yes, Tiamat Marduk. There you go. And that bloody Orlando's not going to answer the phone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right, we don't spend too long on that. Let's go to a general call out to the wild. Got to get rid of some people. Get myself down to 8 people. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there you go. That one's not even in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is everyone there? Yes, everyone's there. Can you hear? Yes, you can hear me because the meter's still going. Come on. That's it. Don't mess me about. Disrespectful on answering to Dave. I know, it's unbelievable. He's too scared of the last F2. Oh, yes. If anyone saw that race, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was on an F2 race. It was only like the after race, after the big normal race. I was in the lead for 5 laps. In fact, I was in the lead right until the last corner of the race. And I was viciously taken out by said Mr. Orlando. Unbelievable. And I wasn't very happy about it either. Damn it! I've just dipped my microphone. It's alright, it's still going. I just dipped your microphone again. And yes, I wasn't very happy. But there you go. Onto the bloody phone. Nope, they're not going to answer the phone. Is there anybody there? Anybody there? Play with my bear. Hello, my beautiful bear. You like my beard? Do you like my shavy beard? Do you like that? Gonna eat my bear. I love sucking on my bear. Eight people and no. Oh, bloody hell! But good evening. Oh, you just caught me playing with my bear.
Yeah, I only joined to stop you playing with your bear.
Hang on, Jamie. I can't hear you, mate. Hang on a minute. I've got to turn the volume up. Right, go again, mate.
I said I only joined to stop you playing with your bear.
Nice one. Nice one. Yes, well, you've saved the shows once again. I'll only be here for a couple of minutes, mate, but welcome. And how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. You?
Not too bad. Fair to middling. Getting along, you know. How's the old shoulder doing?
Not good.
Not
But,
good.
you know, is what it is.
Is what it is, mate.
But
Yeah.
I was watching most of the stream, and then I was doing a couple of other bits, so stopped watching, and then I come back on, and then I see some comments about Alex Gillion being a twat, and then you was talking and doing things with your bear, and I thought the only reason I'm joining is to agree that Alex Gillion is the biggest knobhead ever. Like, I'm pretty sure I said this to you a while ago. I did. I think I.
You did, Jamie. Yeah. As I said, unfortunately, I can't agree with you because we're both F1 YouTubers. But that doesn't mean that you can't say exactly what you want to say. So feel free. Feel free.
The guy, I watched his stream, and I watched his stream, and I was just like, because I don't even know how I stumbled across him. And I remember stumbling across him and then messaging you or messaging the group chat and being like, Dave, who the fuck is this bloke? He is the biggest bellend I've ever come across on YouTube, but he's got about 10,000 people watching him. And I was like, how has this guy got 10,000? How many people can watch this absolute bellend?
Well, it just goes to show you that there's a lot of sheep in the world, and there's also a lot of stupid people around in the world as well. So there you go.
Yeah.
The thing is, once you get that 12 to 16-year-old, following, I like to call it following, then you've pretty much got it made. Even though what you make and produce is probably a bunch of shit. Once you get that group of people following you, then you're pretty much set up.
Yeah, I suppose it's how you keep going, really.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but you are right. My biggest following, because I've looked it up on YouTube, is 16 to 24.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Do you know how many people of my age watch my channel?
Well, not many people your age know how to work YouTube. So. Okay.
That's very true. You've hit the nail on the head there. But yeah, I'll tell you how many.
But about 5.
No, nada, 0. No one of my age watches my channel, and I'm outraged. Absolutely, because there's quality entertainment that they would enjoy. But no, but I think you're right there. It's on the edge. It's because they don't even know how YouTube works. YouTube, what's that then? Is that on After Gardener's World?
But do you obviously? I was going to say, like, cause I don't really know how it works. Like, if people aren't signed in to their account,
yeah.
Do those views even count at all?
As far as I know, I'm not sure how YouTube works myself. But
well, they can't get the statistics.
No. And if you want to do anything on YouTube, like you see a video and you're not signed in and you want to like it, you then have to sign in. So
yeah, no.
So with that in mind, I would say if you're not signed in, then nothing counts. No.
Yeah. Oh, I did always think that. Like. Yeah. Again, that could be another thing. Like, there might be viewers of your age, but haven't got an account. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. My shoulder is actually going at the moment.
Oh no! Live shoulder on Hookster Talks. This is unbelievable scenes.
Don't. Well, I always say it's my shoulder. It's not actually my shoulder. It's just that's easier. But it's actually. The nerve is in my elbow that's fucked.
I'm with you.
And it just ends up affecting my whole arm. And also at the moment, me right side of me back, me lower back, and me leg. So yeah. Brilliant.
I'll try not to make you laugh, Jamie. Otherwise, it'll make it worse.
Well,
Hang on. I know something that'll make you laugh. No, we're not doing that.
I did wonder.
We'll save that for the OnlyFans.
Oh, don't. I've actually got a bloke. I've got a bloke at work. He's a right dirty old fucker, and but he's just had a he's honestly, this is actually true, and this was actually today, right? This is
Right.
like this ain't this is like 100% relevant. He had what's it, polyps or something in his stomach,
Oh
or
yeah.
up his
Yeah.
or up his arsehole or whatever, something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and he had to have them removed. And he's got stitching, and he comes back to work today. This was this morning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was up at 4 o'clock this morning at fucking work. Well, about by 5 o'clock by the time I got there. And he comes back to work, and at 5:15 in the morning, I haven't even had my breakfast, thank fuck. He's like, "Here, Jay, look at this." And it's a picture of his arsehole with the stitching around it.
Oh, it sounds like me.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the sort of thing you would do.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
Bastard.
Bastard.
Bastards.
Bastards. Oh my God.
I can't even be bothered to talk about F1, really.
Me neither. I'm
bit boring,
worn
isn't it?
out anyway, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit boring. To be
Yeah.
honest, I mean, even I didn't know Max had won the title for about 5. I was
I
like,
know.
"Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, what? Oh, Max has won the title. Oh, he was going to win it anyway. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
all right,
Oh yeah. As I
just
say,
give it to him now."
yeah, it's a foregone conclusion he's going to win it. But as I say, I wish they just left it until the USA and had a good old, party with him and done it that way, because it was just such an anticlimax, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's just like,
was.
oh,
Yeah,
here you are, you won it now.
yeah. I didn't really know what was going on, to be honest. I almost
Yeah.
what was I doing? I was doing something. God knows. But yeah, I wasn't even really paying attention to the race.
Yeah. Well, who was? What a race it was, 40 minutes long. Christ's sake.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was sort of just flicking in and out of it whilst doing whatever indoors, not really watching it as I usually would. And then, yeah, and then he won. Well, fair enough.
Yeah. He was going to win anyway. 106 points ahead of everyone else. I mean, 5 races left.
Yeah.
You only got to work the maths out. That, as I was saying, unless he'd have broken his leg, it was pretty. But I still say if he'd have broken his leg and not even done the last 4 races, he still would have won it.
Well, yeah, probably would have.
Because Ferrari would have tripped over themselves. Lewis and Co would have still ended up, 5th and 6th. So he has still won it anyway.
Where did they end up on Sunday?
I've no
Lewis and
idea.
No, they didn't they do quite well.
Oh, what,
on
the
Sunday?
Mercedes? Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, yeah, because I did think, oh, they actually, I know I take the piss out of them, but they actually done quite well this weekend,
Yeah.
didn't they? Their car did look better. But yeah, well, so hopefully, well, USA, they still want to prove a point. They might. I think that it's always been a track that the Mercedes have liked, isn't it? So they
Yeah.
might actually get a decent result.
True. We will see.
Lewis likes it, so
Yeah, we got a gap now because it's not on this week, so next week, isn't it? So
I think it's a 3-week gap.
is it? Oh, it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's it might not be, but
Yeah. Oh, Merck was
all
6th and 8th.
But they were down in 6th and 8th in the end, weren't they?
Oh, hang on. Hamilton was 5th. Russell was 8th.
Fair enough.
Matthew asked in the chat, how slack Alice? Now, for anyone who doesn't know what that's in reference to, if anyone wants to go and see my ERL live stream for Monday, there's a very interesting story that I relate to at the start about a certain slack Alice. But yeah, Or maybe you don't want to listen to it. It's up to you. But anyway, that's at the start of my stream. And she's fine. Thank you, Matt. Fine. Scott says, Jamie saves the stream. What a lad. There you go. Matthew says, I never heard of Alex Gillies until he was on Ben's career mode. Used to be more popular on Twitter over YouTube. Yeah.
I discovered him on Facebook now that they do that stupid
Facebook
stream.
gaming.
Yeah, that's what I discovered him on. I was just flicking through and it come up as a recommendation. And but I was watching it like, because he does with TM Mardu, he does the career thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, 2-player career, yeah.
But also I was watching like the rest of it, like, and he was like using flashbacks during the season and all that, and I thought it's just shit, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, who uses flashbacks on their season? I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, you know, something I would never subscribe to.
But the thing is, you do it in a way that, like, you know, you'll sort of, like, yours is almost like intentional.
Yeah.
But it's like, right, you're going to go down the inside, you're going to have a big crash. Oh, no, look what happened. You know, I'd call it entertainment purposes, right?
Exactly. I've always said about my videos, they are purely entertainment videos, and that's how you should look at them. Whereas someone like Alex, he's trying to, you know, be, you know, a top player and prove that he's got skills and stuff like that, which, you know, is just ludicrous.
So that's what I mean. When you use it, it's like it's entertainment purposes. It's all part of the act, as it were.
Yeah, and it's a big act.
Yeah. I was like watching his one, and it's like he's driving along, goes around a corner, spins out, uses a flashback. I was watching it, I was like, what the I think I got banned from commenting on his Facebook gaming thing.
Probably.
I think I just wrote like, what the fuck are you doing, or something. like what you just spun out on the corner, mate. Like, you weren't, you know. Pathetic, honestly, absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
And as you say, and it's the fact that they pretend that, and then they want to think that they're like this such a great gamer. Like,
yeah, esports level. That's what they're.
Yeah,
Yeah, esports level. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know.
That was on tonight, actually.
Was it?
That was on during your stream, Dave.
Oh dear. I'm
pretty sure.
I should have been watching that instead of doing this, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I didn't. I got a notification for it about. I don't know. I think it was about 8 o'clock. I got a YouTube notification for it, but I didn't watch it. I might have a browse in a little while, but I've got to go to bed soon as well. So
yeah, that's all right, mate. I'm gonna just disappear in a minute myself. But one funny story I will say is that if anyone knows, I did send an email to Arava about 3 months ago asking him to appear on this show. I never got a reply, and now everyone in the chat better not laugh about this, but I was looking at Twitter yesterday, yeah, and there was a big tweet from Arava saying, "Oh look, I'm in this podcast," and I went to it, and yeah, he was on this hour podcast with these other blokes talking about F1, and I just sat and listened to the first 2 minutes and went, "You bastard!" Wouldn't come on here, but no, yeah, because he knows I might say a few critical words. That's why. Goes to where it's safe. That's what it is, Jamie. Goes to where it's safe, mate.
Yeah. He's like Truss going to BBC Bristol.
Yes, that's it.
BBC
going to all the safe spots.
That went well.
That went well. But yeah, I just thought, you bastard. He's never replied either. Never replied.
Don't need him.
True. I just love to get him on here though. I really would. And the thing is, Jamie, I would be nice as well. Everyone thinks I just want him on here, so I'm just gonna completely rip him apart. I wouldn't do that. I'd let him, say what he wants to say. It wouldn't be a problem. But
Yeah, I think yeah.
yeah, I mean, as I say, a lot of people think that I want to get him on here, so I'm going to completely rip the piss out of him, and I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. I'd let him carry on, and I'd ask him lots of questions because I've got a lot of questions that I would like to ask him, and then I'd let him answer them, and we'd do it properly, and I wouldn't do anything, But you know what it's like. Big YouTuber, little YouTuber. It's like, yeah, not gonna bother you, mate. Not gonna bother you.
Doesn't want to help the man, does he?
Nah, exactly.
He doesn't want to help the man.
Doesn't want to help the man.
I don't know. Well, actually, where is Don? Was in the chat when he disappeared.
He was at the start, but I rang him just before I rang the main chat, and he didn't answer. And he'd been off YouTube off Facebook for 30 minutes. So he's probably gone to Bible class by now, Jamie. Or he's getting ready for another of his dream daddies for tonight. I don't know. God.
Don't. I hope he isn't, because I've got to go to work. And the last time he'd done that, I couldn't stop watching it.
I know. As I say, it's like a rabbit in caught in headlights. You want to look away, you want to stop what, but you just can't, because it's just so fucking creepy, isn't it? And the fact that Dom's doing it makes it even more creepy. It's like, ugh. It sends a tingle down my spine. I'm like, ugh.
No, and it's the fact that the other bloke's name's Joe as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I bet Joe loves that, because I mean, obviously he didn't put the name in there. It was in there in the game, but he must think that's brilliant.
Honestly, you just couldn't make it up.
You couldn't make it up. No.
It's like their dream scenario.
Will says, you asked, however, many months ago. I did many months ago, and I'm still bitter he hasn't replied.
I like Will. We called Lewis a melt earlier.
He did. However, he uses flashbacks. Surely not. Surely that's outrageous. Don't believe it. What are your thoughts on Matt212? I'm glad you asked me that, Mr. Will F1, because I was regularly talking to Matt212, and then he suddenly stopped talking to me because he reached that level, Jamie, of, what can I call it? That level when you're too big to talk to little people. You know that level? You know the level I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh, the one I was talking about earlier.
No, this is Matt212. It's another F1 YouTuber. Yeah, I was talking to him quite regular, and then he reached a level of sort of subscribers and popularity, and he stopped talking to me. And this has happened countless times, Jamie. I can't count on two hands how many of these little YouTubers have started up, got to a certain level, and then they completely ignore me and cut me off. It's annoying, but what can I do about it? Nothing really. But yeah, so unfortunately Matt no longer talks to me, even though he did. I mean, nothing's happened. We didn't have an argument or anything. And he's actually got me on mute on Twitter, because I sent him a question and he hasn't answered it or even looked at it. So obviously I must be on mute. Otherwise, why would you not answer it after about 6 months?
I say we just find out where they live.
Yeah, find out where they live. And I just found out actually that Matt212, he's just signed on he's now an esports driver, so not going to talk to me, is he? Not going to talk to me, is he? Let's face it, too big for the Hookster now. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on Matt212. As I say, we had some good conversations as well, but then I was dropped like a shitty stick, Jamie. Dropped like a shitty stick. Unbelievable.
The world of YouTube, mate. It's a horrible place.
It's very, very toxic, Jamie. Very toxic. It's probably the worst place you can be on, to be honest. It really is. Everyone's fighting with each other behind the scenes.
I watch other, like, that's what it does make me laugh, even when not just like F1, like other gaming streams and things like that. I'm just like, what are you guys on? Seriously?
I know. It's cutthroat. It really is.
Call of Duty is terrible for it, because all It's actually quite funny. They just all expose each other for cheating and things like that. And then they expose people for cheating and get caught cheating themselves. It's quite funny, to be fair.
Scott says the big boys are pricks, Dave. Stay the way you are. I will, mate. Don't worry. I'm not. I'm not going to be enticed by big money. Not that I would be anyway. But Matthew says, have you ever raced a big F1 YouTuber online? Good question, that Matt. I think the only one is that guy I've talked about before, PS Luton Rules. I mean, he's not really big. He's 5,000 subscribers. Is that big? Not really. But yeah, he's probably the biggest one I've raced online. I was on one of the Josh Stocks, Moaning Yorkshireman, was doing a charity stream for teenage cancer. He did a 24-hour race on, I think it was Project Cars, and I joined at the same time as Mr. Luton Rules did, and we had a little race around one of the, I can't remember what track it was, on Project Cars, but it was quite good because I bumped him up the rear end and flipped his car upside down. So I enjoyed that immensely.
I've actually raced against. Do you know what? I actually never know how to say his name properly, but the one who races with Alex Gillion.
Tiamat Marduk.
Tiamat, yeah, is it Tiamat Marduk? Yeah.
Tiamat
yeah,
Marduk,
I've raced against him online. Yeah.
But here is a claim to fame. Actually, I've just remembered this. Dominic Alando has raced against Super GT on Gran Turismo.
Actually.
Yes, for real. I couldn't believe it. Now, after the race had finished, events sort of were made aware of me, or to me, I should say, and that was the fact that Super GT, he didn't qualify for the race, so he started from the back, and Dom did qualify for the race, and I think he was in fourth, fifth, or sixth, something like that anyway. So
Dom was quite near the front.
He was, yeah. He was quite up there, yeah. So with that in mind, obviously, you had to. The Super GT was right at the back, so, and I think there was 16 players, so he was right up there. But fair play to Dom, he did beat him in the end, didn't he? Right at the end. But as I say, he was starting at the back. Dom was right up the front. But doesn't matter. I mean, Super GT, he's got fucking hell, 500,000 subscribers or whatever, and I think Dom
was actually first in that race. I think he started first.
Yeah.
I think he actually did start first, Dom.
Yeah. But I mean, Super GT is he looks like the real deal, to be honest. So he did well.
Well, then as well, but we've got not that he says a lot, but also don't forget we've got Nick in the ERL.
Yes, we have. Famous kart racer in the US, yeah.
He's raced against he's raced against George Russell karting.
George Russell, Maxi boy as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the
didn't he say Lance Stroll as well? I'm sure he said Lance Stroll at one point.
Lance Stroll was in the same race with George Russell.
That's it.
So was one of the Red Bull guys. I can't remember what one it was. Was it Buemi? Not Buemi. Yeah, it might have been Buemi.
Yeah, might have been.
But in that race, there was about. Oh, Lando was in it, wasn't he? Norris was in it.
Lando was in it. Yeah, I remember he said Lando was in it.
And then there was quite a few like NASCAR now NASCAR drivers and IndyCar drivers as well. I think what's the guy who Red Bull were trying to sign? Colton. What's his name? Colton.
Yeah, can't remember the second name. I know it's Colton.
I can't remember his bloody name. Colton Herbert.
Like that,
Fucking hell. I'm terrible with names, but yeah, him. Yeah, loads. There was like in that karting race, there was loads of now drivers in it.
I know. I've been trying to get Nick on here. It's become a running joke, but since the start of the year now, I've been trying to get Nick on here. He's agreed to it. That's the thing. He said yes, I will, but of course the time schedules, and of course he's moved somewhere else now. I think he's moved out to San Diego or whatever. So
Moved down to San Diego, and he's got a new job as well.
That's it. Yeah. So it's getting difficult, but I'm going to keep trying because I'm sure you, Jamie, and all the viewers watching now would love for me to have Nick on here. Even just on his own would be epic, wouldn't it?
I know for a fact. Yeah, no. If Nick come on, I wouldn't even join. I'd just want.
Yeah, you'd be watching. Yeah. I
Yeah, I
understand
wouldn't join at all. Even though I kind of would want to talk to him.
Yeah.
I'd much rather listen to him and let him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as one of the very few people who's actually heard his voice, because he was in that party chat. Yeah, I think he would be a great contributor to Hookster Talks. I will keep going on, and eventually he'll give in, and we'll
I think you'll probably have to. Maybe you can like pre-record it or something.
Yeah, I said to him.
I think that's the best way.
Yeah, I said
because obviously with the time and that, like with the time differences, and obviously you're up quite late anyway, aren't you? But...
Yeah. We'll do it. Don't worry, we'll do it. Maybe a Christmas special. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it, to have?
Yeah, it would. But yeah, like I say, hopefully you get it done. Hopefully you get some time freed up. Did he race on Monday at all? I don't know.
He didn't. No.
No, he hasn't. So he hasn't been racing on Monday because of like where he's moved
exactly.
and that. Has he?
Yeah.
I think he raced a couple of weeks ago, and that's about it.
Yeah. No, I don't think he did then. He was going to, but he found out it was going to take 4 hours for the game to download because he hadn't downloaded it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. He joined and then he had to
pull
update
out
the game and all that.
Yep.
Oh.
Not good. Planal Plessy says Jimmy Broadbent is the best out there. Yeah, I agree. I
quite like him actually.
Yeah, he seems pretty decent.
He was on that what was the program called? Where they find the driver, like next race. What was it? Was I think it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
There was one with McLaren where they like it's basically like drivers from the gaming world, isn't it? I think they get a contract with McLaren.
Yes, nice.
And then the guy who won it the first year presented it the second year, I believe. I'm sure he was on one of them, Jimmy Broadbent.
Scott Barnes says, I prefer people like Alas, Tomo, Jimmy Broadbent, Super GT over the F1 YouTubers. I agree. Everyone should love all the ones over F1 YouTubers. Don't trust an F1 YouTuber. Never. No. Especially if his channel begins with F1 Games PlayStation. Don't ever trust that guy. Super weird. Super creepy. Just, do not.
I'm surprised, right, that one of these, like, even if, sure, like, why don't you just offer one of these ones who have got a load of money now, offer them your channel name, offer them your naming rights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should do that. So here you are, you can have it. You can have it.
No, they can't have it. They've got to buy it off you.
Well, buy it off me, yeah. Buy it off me.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, because it says PlayStation, I can't really sell it because that's not a name that is, it's Sony, isn't it? So, but I was very clever there. That's why I haven't actually been caught out by Sony. Because there was a channel on here, a YouTuber, he called his channel Pepsi Max.
What?
Right? And Pepsi made him take the channel down because they own the name Pepsi, obviously. Yeah. But I was a little bit clever with this because I noticed very early on that the let me get a bit of paper, write it down. Here we go. Hopefully you'll be able to, you will be able to see it because I'll be able to show it to you. Right, so I can learn how to spell, that is.
I've got 2 reports to write tomorrow and I can't spell, so.
Right, you make sure I haven't knocked my microphone and switched it off. No, it's still going. Right, the official branding of PlayStation, yeah, is Play, and then the S of the station is in capital letters.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that, but that is the official branding for PlayStation. Mine is F1 Games PlayStation. I've got no capital S. It's just a normal size S. So I was a little bit clever there when I first invented the
Well,
channel.
that's literally you get away with it. Just
I don't know, Jamie. All I'm saying is I haven't had the.
You've never had any
now
trouble.
I've said this, Sony are probably watching, and that'll be the end of it. But at the moment, I have not had any problems. I haven't been asked to take anything down or anything, and I think it's because the S is only a little less. That's my theory, anyway. I'm sure Sony won't see it like that if they eventually catch up. It's probably because I'm so small that they haven't caught up to me yet. But yeah, that's my theory, anyway. That the S is too small.
Yeah, you'll get one video that blows up, and then they'll come along and go, "Oh, hang on."
Who's this F1 Game PlayStation? That's our bloody name, you bastards. Oh dear.
I'd say to them, start making decent fucking F1 games then.
Yeah. Will F1 says, I remember that channel, Pepsi Max. Yeah. He was all right with Pepsi Max, but as I say, you had to change the name because Pepsi said, nah, that's our trademark and you can't use it. So, Planal Plessy says, have you heard, Dave, that there's a Gran Turismo film coming out next year? Apparently, it's based on the GT Academy program where a Gran Turismo player went to be a professional racer. Wowzers. That's going to be great, isn't it, Jamie?
I heard something about this, and I heard the actor mentioned, but I can't remember who it is now.
Oh, right.
I actually heard of who was going to be in a lead role for the film, and it wasn't someone I was too impressed with, to be honest. But
Trouble is, all those video games to movies things, they never work, do they? Let's be honest, you know.
No.
Who remembers Bob Hoskins in Super Mario? Oh God.
I actually quite like Super Mario.
It was a fun film, but you know, nah, you know, it's just, you know, it never works. I mean, who remembers the Mortal Kombat film? Remember that? Oh my God.
That was awful.
That was dreadful.
That really was.
Kylie was in that, wasn't she? Kylie Minogue. Sure she was.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had it on pirate DVD.
Yeah, because you didn't want to buy it, did you, Jamie?
I didn't want to pay for it. Yeah, I wasn't paying
exactly.
for it.
Who'd want to pay for that shite? But yeah, that was dreadful. Yeah. Battleship. Do you remember that one?
Never see it because it got such bad reviews.
Yeah, it's got Rihanna in it. Oh my God, it was beyond crap, honestly. Yeah, I only saw it because it's just on normal telly at one afternoon. I think that's the only reason I've ever seen it. But yeah, it's dreadful.
I think that's on Prime or something. It's on one of them.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
it's on there.
It's dreadful, and it's absolutely nothing to do with the Battleship game whatsoever. It's purely just the name Battleship, and it's just about a load of battleships and a load of aliens that come down and try to destroy the battleships, and that's it. There's no more plot than that. That's it. It's dreadful. Well, it's got Rihanna in it, so it's going to be bad. But oh my God, yeah, not good. But I say all those conversion films to video games, they just don't work. They just don't work. The only one I haven't seen this yet either, but from what I've heard, the only one that seems to have worked so far is Uncharted.
I haven't seen it, and I do want to. It's
Yeah,
on
I haven't seen it
Sky.
either.
Is it on? I think it's come on to Sky Movies now,
Yeah,
or it's on Sky somewhere. I
yeah.
think
That I've heard is the
I've
only one
seen
that's come pretty
I've
close to
seen
being,
clips of it, and it doesn't look bad. To be
yeah,
fair,
to being pretty decent. So yeah, because I did love the Uncharted games. So yeah, but apart from that, all the others, load of load of balls, really, load of balls. Horrible.
Sonic with his brilliant. They had to change Sonic, didn't they, because of his teeth or something at
Something
one
like that.
point.
Yeah. So, oh, Sonic, Jim Carrey, Sonic. Oh yes, it's got to be the highlight of his career, Jim Carrey, isn't it? Sonic, Jesus.
I actually don't like him anymore just because he moans about everything.
Yeah, yeah. He's gone into this moaning period now, and he was all right. I loved him, back in the late
Yeah.
'80s. The Mask.
I think
He was great in The Mask.
yeah, he done all these films, and then it was when he come out and said because he done oh God, not Kill Bill. What's the other bloody film that he uh with the little there's two versions of it. The first one's got the little girl in it, and then there's another one. It's like a superhero girl thing.
Oh, you got me there.
Oh, God, this is what happens as well when I have all these fucking. I can never think straight. It's a famous film. It's got Chloe Grace Moretz in it, or wherever you say her name.
Oh, I've heard of her, yeah, but I can't think what
Yeah,
one it
this
is.
where she plays she plays like a vigilante, like little
Yeah,
girl. But he's in the second one as the bad guy. But then he then moaned about the film, saying it was his biggest regret because of all
yeah,
the violence in it and things like that. And I thought, well,
I'm
I'm
with you.
sure you got paid rather fucking handsomely for it, and you weren't moaning at the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure he
And
did.
you've done loads of other films, like, but yeah, he's just turned into a bit of a idiot these days.
Yeah, old man syndrome.
Yeah,
Starts moaning and that's it, really, isn't it?
yeah. He's like Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, especially with the old man syndrome. Dear. Anyway, I will let you get to bed, sir.
Yes, do please.
Yes, I will let you get to bed. I'd just like to say thank you once again for saving the chat because no one else could be bothered to answer these days because my popularity is just non-existent these days and nobody likes me anymore.
I
There you
know.
go.
What's going on? Absolute bastards.
What's that? I know. I
Well,
don't.
them not to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know. It's just I can't entice them on anymore. It looks like it's going to have to be cash incentives from now on, or maybe I'll just send nude pictures of myself. See if that does the trick. What do you reckon?
Well, it might get Dom and Joe.
It
You
might
never
get
know.
Dom and Joe in, yeah, but everyone else will probably just block me because that's
Yeah.
usually what happens when I send.
All being well, I should be there Monday.
Okie dokie, okie dokie.
I should. I hit Brazil on Monday.
I think it is, yeah. I think it is.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Was
What
it?
race did you have the other
Or was
day?
it? Or was it Singapore? I've got Singapore in my head now, but I might be wrong.
Did you race at Brazil on the Monday just gone?
No, we just had. What did we just have? Bloody hell! I tell you, Jamie, I do like career races. Yeah, everything's just a blur. Everything's just a blur. I can't even remember.
I think you might have just done Brazil, so it's Singapore.
Have I just done Brazil? I don't think I was at Brazil. Was I at Brazil? Oh, fucking hell.
You might not have been. Everyone else
Yeah, everyone
was.
else was, but honestly, it's a complete blank. It's Thursday today, and I did that on Monday, and I honestly can't remember where I was, Jamie. I've done one, two, I've done 2 all seasons races since then, and a 2021 career mode race. So I've done 3 races after that one. So I haven't got a clue. I could have been racing on the moon on Monday, and I still wouldn't know. Unbelievable.
Oh,
Uh,
well, yeah. I'll go with that. You was at Brazil, and it's Singapore on Monday.
It
And I
could,
should,
yeah.
all being well, I should
I've
be there.
definitely got Singapore in my head. Definitely, I think because I think Randy mentioned it because he said, "Oh, next one's my favourite, Singapore." So yeah, I think you're right. Could be Singapore.
Right. That's who else you need to get on. Ollie as well.
Ollie, yeah. Ollie said he'd come on, but I haven't heard any more since. But I'll get. Ollie's not too difficult to get on. Because he's been on before anyway, and he was on that. He's on
Yeah.
that day when Joe was on, so he's not mega difficult to get on. He's hard to get on, but he's not impossible. So yeah, I'll get Ollie.
Yeah,
On.
he'll come on if you.
Yeah.
He will.
Right.
All right.
So
I'm
thank you
gonna
very
go
much. Thank you very
watch
much.
some Russian tanks drive over some Ukrainian mines because it's
Go
funny.
for it. Go for it. Protect the Donbass.
Did you watch that video that I sent? What me and Ollie were talking about this morning?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, did you not watch it? It was when you was talking this morning, and I sent that Twitter link.
No, I was talking, but then I fell asleep, so I didn't get to watch the video. No.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. The Russian tank just blindly going over the Ukrainian landmines and blowing up. Fuck it.
Nice.
Vodka, soldiers, and heavy weaponry don't go well.
I know. I did hear on the news the other day that he's had to Putin's had to discipline some of his soldiers for drinking too much, hasn't he?
Yeah, they don't care. They're well, they don't want to be there. So what else are you going to do? Just get absolutely fucking hammered.
And they're Russian. What else are they going to do but drink bloody vodka anyway?
Yeah,
What did he expect?
Exactly. Yeah. But oh well.
But apparently he can't
he
can't go too mental on him because he's a bit of a drinker as well. Apparently Putin. So.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, thank you very much,
Right.
Jamie.
Gotta go.
Yep. Catch you
See
later,
you
mate.
later.
Thank you, and
Right.
good night.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for being in the stream tonight. You've been awesome as always. Scott Barnes says Dom is impossible because he won't answer the bloody phone. Quite right. Matthew says Sonic Rivals on PSP is one of my favourite childhood games. Nice. I never had a PSP, so I wouldn't know. Planel Plessy says they need to bring back all the games that were based on films. The E.T. one was the best. Now I know you're joking. E.T. Yes. That was on the Atari 2600, wasn't it? Wasn't it the one that they had to put in landfill because they had so many unsold copies they couldn't get rid of? So they had to literally put it into a big hole in the ground and put earth over it. I'm pretty sure that was the one. Oh my god. And if you've ever played that game, you'll know why. I didn't actually ever have an Atari 2600, but back in the day, I was friends with someone who did, and I played a lot of the old Atari games on it. And yeah, E.T. Best game ever. Love that one. Plynal says yes, they changed Sonic because of his design. The Sonic films were good. Okay, I've never seen them, so I'm not going to judge. Apparently, Bob Hoskins didn't know that Super Mario was a game when he told his kids he was working on the film. Wow. So he didn't even know what he'd signed on for. Fantastic. I like that. That's going in fresh. I don't know. What's this? But of course, if you think about it, he did the same with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He had no idea what he was going into because it was a mixture of CGI and stop motion and everything, wasn't it? So he didn't know what he was going into. I know he regretted making that film because it was a lot of hard work and it took a lot of hours to do that, mixing, cartoon characters with real life and whatever. And he had a hell of a time making it. I remember that. But yeah, there you go. Give him a bollocking on Monday and everybody apart from Jamie. I will do. I will do. Anyway, thanks everyone. You have been awesome as always. This has been another Hookster Talks with me and the bear, of course, Mr. Chibi the bear. Yes. You will have a nice Thursday, what's left of it, and I will catch you later for another video. Thank you everyone. You've been awesome as always. I'm off now to send an email to Tomo. See if I can get on his Cool Down podcast. Yeah. Shall I see if I can get on there? Shall I send him an email? Doesn't matter who I send him to. It all ends up at Veloce, apparently. However, that was Veloce. Tomo's going to be Veloce. So if it's probably the same bloke, he's going to go, oh, not this guy again. Fucking hell. What is he on? Crack cocaine most of the time. No, not really. Don't do it, kids. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. No, 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 no. Paracetamol. That's all you need. Paracetamol. Yes. If it's really bad, just a little bit of codeine. That's your lot, though. That's your lot. No more. Anyway, thanks everyone. You've been awesome as always, and I'll catch you later for the next video, which will be the All Seasons on Sunday now. Thank you, and good.